Hi, my name is Jarrett, and I'm here to show the code that I wrote for the soccer lab. And just jump right into it. We start off with some pretty common things. We have int I and int j. Int I, obviously very common for for loops, and int j is used so that instead of having to write out the player numbers as they pertain to I can just have something that's exactly it. So I wouldn't have to write like I plus 1 to get player 1. I could just have like j at 1. We then have two arrays, player jersey and player rating, each holding 5 values. We could have made this customizable based on like what the user would want for how many players, but the lab only called for 5 and didn't call for it to be flexible, so here we are. We then prompt the user for the jersey numbers and the ratings of 5 players on the team, just to get like an initial batch of players, I guess. We make sure that we have a safety net for each the jersey number and the rating. So if the jersey number is between 0 and 99 and the player rating is between 1 and 9, because those are the realms that we want to stay within. We then, after we get all 5 players, their jerseys, and the ratings, we then print out the roster right here. We then print out a menu for them to interact with the roster in a multitude of ways. The next meat of our code, and actually the rest of it, all falls under this while loop, which makes it so as long as the input based on these menu options is not Q, which is our quit option, as you can see right here, we can act on all this stuff down here. So the first option, you update player rating, we'll go through, which you get a jersey number from the user, and as long as it is within our realms and is actually on the team. So like we compare it to the data that we have stored with this for loops, it'll go for the first player. If it's not equal, then whatever will go to the second, third, fourth, and as long as it's on the team, we'll find them and replace it. Otherwise, we get a new jersey number from them right here. If we're on the index 4 and we still don't have it, we reset the cycle over, setting I to 0 and prompt them for a jersey again. Just trying to get a jersey that's actually on the team that we can replace the rating with. And if it is on the team, what we do is we make sure that a player rating that they would enter for the new, like their new player rating, falls within our bounds still, and we just get it, and then we break out of this and we go back to the menu. We print out the menu again and ask for their options, or ask what they'd like to do with their options. The next choice, A, output players above rating. This one is really simple. We just have a simple variable that we put in right here, an integer that we get from the user, and as long as there is a player that's above that rating, the players will be printed out with their jersey number and their rating. And then we print the menu, really simple. Next is R, which is replace player. So this one not only replaces the rating, but also the jersey number for a player. So it's a little bit more complicated, but we really just use what we have for the update thing, and instead of just for the rating, we also do it for the jersey, as you'll be able to see. So we make sure if new jersey equals player jersey I, so as long as like the jersey number that we ask for to make sure the player is actually on the team, as long as it's there, we can then act on it. We ask for a new jersey number between 0 and 99. We ask for a new rating, making sure it's between our boundaries, once again, 1 and 9. We actually use the less than instead of greater or equal to like we had before, but that's fine. Both ways work. We then change the jersey number and the rating for the player. The final option, I believe, that's not quitting, yep, the final option, O, which is just to output the roster. Really simple. We actually already did it earlier up above, like right after we listed all the players. So we just cycle through the arrays and we print off the data that was stored in the arrays. All right, so we ran through the meat of the code. I think it's probably time that we can just test it a little bit. So run it. Just gonna do generic values, gonna match each player number. So player 1 will just have 1 and 1 for their jersey and rating, 2 and 2 for 2, 5 and 5 for 5, etc. We'll start with upgrading a player. we'll do jersey number 2, new rating of 8. We'll replace a player, do jersey number 4, give them a new jersey number of 57 and a rating of 7. Next, I'll put players above a certain rating. We'll say it's like 4. Should be 3, right? Yep, 3 players. So there we go. And finally, we'll do O, which prints the roster. As you can see, the roster changed state. Instead of it being 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. We have 2 players that are now different. Jersey number 2 now has a rating of 8, and player 4 now has 57 as his jersey and 7 as his rating. Finally, we can just finish it off by pressing Q, and it'll terminate, and can't do anything else anymore. That's the entirety of the code. Thank you very much for watching.